I've been watching the Pretty Privilege Has No Downside, or There Are No Downsides to Pretty Privilege debate happen over on different social media platforms. And I think what, like, the silent part is for people who are saying that there are no downsides. I think the silent part, which I haven't seen one person who has that perspective or is standing 10 toes down that there are no downsides. I haven't heard them say the ugly truth, which is that they don't care about the downsides. Like, I think that's the silent part. They don't care about the downsides because they are focused on the positives of pretty privilege. And oh, that term bothers me. Again, I haven't been making content in a while, so I haven't been saying it out loud, and every time I say it I cringe a little. But being an attractive woman has, per society, like, if you are walking around society, walking around in the world, and you're experiencing life, as someone attractive, you know that there are definitely some pros. There are pros to it. And I think the women who are making the commentary and taking the stance that there are no downsides, they just know that there are so many pros. And I'm not mad that I don't know, like, I don't need anyone to validate my experience who can't relate to my experience. Because I think that's asking too much. If a woman is set up emotionally, spiritually, psychologically to be rude and nasty, mean, violent, hateful to another woman because she thinks that woman is pretty, she thinks that woman has like an easier life, I don't like that's if that's where you're coming from. I can't value your opinion enough to care. You wouldn't understand. Now, does that change the day-to-day interactions where you're coming into contact with rude, nasty women in real life? I almost said the U word, but I try to be very mindful of the words that I use, because the point of my content is not to offend. I don't want to offend women who are not in touch with their own beauty. I don't want to offend women who can't find ways to see their own beauty. They have it hard enough, and I just feel really fortunate to have had, like, the upbringing, the circumstances, genetics or whatever that has not set me up to be bitter, mean, and nasty in those ways. So when I make content, even though, like, we have to acknowledge, you have to call a thing, I'm always able to hold space for how hard it must be to be, always feel, or I imagine to always feel like when you walk into a room with someone, that woman is gonna get more attention than you, or just more positive responses. And if you are on the end of receiving positive responses from others, if you've ever been the center of attention, or if you've ever had kindness bestowed upon you sight unseen, you haven't really done much. All you did was be born. And, like, on the same way that, like, you shouldn't be persecuted for how you look or things you can't control. I don't know if we should be getting all these privileges for something we didn't earn. I really don't know. And I think I lean towards no. Like, it's just an unfair reality. Now, are we out here trying to give away those privileges? No, because I'm also a nice person. I'm also a kind person. But I haven't had the reception from the vast majority of the people I've interacted with in the world to make me bitter. You know, I went to a PWI for undergrad, and I do remember being like a freshman on campus and noticing who all of the black football players wanted. And I remember recognizing that I was not it. Like I won't say, like, I saw a couple with black girls, unambiguously black girls. And the one that I'm thinking of now, we could have been cousins, like, but she was unambiguously black, but she was a lighter brown skinned woman, like a caramel colored woman, like a golden brown woman, like Golden Oats, Kerry Washington complexion, but she was like the blackest of the black of the girls who I saw with them. And I decided right then, like, if I'm in an environment where the men who look most like me aren't going for the women who don't, I literally, and I'm not proud of this, and I have since recovered, because I love black men who love black women. At 18, I decided right then and there, I won't be checking for y'all either. Matter of fact, I'm not checking for nobody. And at that time, I really wasn't even focused on like finding a husband or being found by a husband. But I just remember making the conscious decision for my mental and emotional well-being not to have any crushes on any black men on campus, unsolicited, and uninitiated by them. And even being open to certain advances, or the possibility of getting to know them, like actions. It's not even actions that speak louder than words. It's patterns of behavior that speak the loudest of anything. And so when I saw that my preference didn't necessarily prefer, it seemed like the majority of them weren't necessarily preferring women who looked like me, I carried this mindset on into adulthood that if I saw like a professional black man, and I didn't even have this to do, to be honest, like I didn't know it, but I decided until, like, I don't even see you, bro. Like, I don't even see you. I don't even see you because you might not even like my type. And that did wonders for my self-esteem. And I've also never had a problem getting a nice or good black man. But that is because I don't do the choosing. Like, I do the accepting, not the choosing. And, I'm just in my own world. And I think if more women could help themselves by getting centered and focusing more on themselves and God, a higher power, get some principles to live by. Because, like, this free-for-all, y'all not even, most of these people not even happy. Like, you out here doing exactly what you want, but are you happy, though? You doing exactly what you want with who you want, whenever you want, but are you happy? Or are you getting played? Because it seems to me that a lot of this, autonomy in terms of, like, I live by my own standards, I create my own rules, has a lot of women out here looking foolish, absolutely ridiculous, and with responsibilities they don't even want, or things they can't get rid of, i.e. HIV, i.e. herpes, respectfully. But that's all I have for today. I feel like I kind of lost the plot. I don't even know what to title this, but thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions, anything you want me to talk about, because I'm not in a slump, but I am. So leave some comments if you want me to talk on anything.